That's a lovely sound.
That's Camera Obscura. They're on tour at the moment.
I love the sound of Camera Obscura. Where are they from again?
They're from Scotland.
They're from Scotland, of course they are. So many fine things come from Scotland.
Yes.
There was a band.
I know where you're going.
The Dream Boys were in Scotland. They were a little-known punk band. I never had the pleasure of hearing them live.
And who was in that band?
Peter Capaldi was the lead vocalist and guitarist, I believe.
That's right.
With young Craig Ferguson, who's now doing great for himself out in America. He hosts a talk show on, I think, CBS.
CBS.
He was your drummer, wasn't he?
That's right, yeah, but
Before
I
he
have
did
to
that
say we
comedy.
were originally called the Bastards from Hell.
Oh, that's a much better name.
Yeah.
So how did you go from that to the Dream Boys?
I know, because it's the most terrible name for a band. I mean, it sounds like the Chippendales or something.
Yeah, Dream
That's
Boys.
I
I think there are the Dream Boys now.
Well,
aren't
you know what?
Yeah.
You could go on the X Factor calling yourself the Dream Boys, not with the first name.
No, but in those days it was all kind of punk, glam, and we thought it was kind of rather Kafkaesque and kind of mid-European.
Dream Boys.
And nightmarish, in fact.
Hey, Peter Capaldi, how are you doing? You're looking great, you're looking very
Thank
fit
you
and
so
healthy,
much.
and I'm no doubt you're enjoying the fact that The Thick of It is right up there where it belongs, in the list of most people's top 10 of great sitcoms. It really is a big hit, isn't it?
Well, it's amazing what's happened to it, because really for us, those of us who have been in it from the start, it's been sort of stop and start because of
Because it was
various
BBC 4 originally, wasn't it?
BBC 4 originally, and in fact all we ever did was Armando Iannucci, who's very clever, had the money to do a pilot for one programme, and he stretched that to do 2, and the BBC said, oh, we quite like this, we'll give you some money for another one. We did 3, and then 6 months later we did another 3, and just gradually it sort of built up like that.
It's the slowest series that was ever made. It probably is. I bet you could. No other series has taken that long to have like 6 shows under its belt.
That's right, there's only in fact something like 18 episodes or something.
Yeah, but it's a great, of course, and the character you play is so memorable. He's so kind of immediate to get who he is and where he's coming from. But there's a subtlety in him as well. That's what I admire in the writing and in the performance. It's the fact that it would be easy just to make him a bombastic character who comes in and shouts at people. But you get the feeling there's a genuine kind of foot in reality.
Well, I think that's the problem with it, is trying to not make it bombastic, and it's kind of my job to try and find ways to introduce something else going on under the surface. But it's also, you're kind of trapped by that kind of... I mean, I've never been in a long-running sitcom, if you like, before. And I'm sure, you know, if you turn on Dad's Army, I'm not comparing the thick of it to Dad's Army, but clearly if you turn on Dad's Army, you want to get to the bit where John Laurie says, we're doomed.
We're doomed.
Or
you want a bit of Stupid Boy.
Stupid Boy, all of that stuff. So you got to deliver that stuff. So
Don't tell him your name, Plaque.
Yes. But our equivalent of that is foul language.
Is use.
It's me swearing. So I've got to do that while at the same time trying to find other ways to make it interesting.
Okay, well, the show is back. If you've missed the show so far, The Thick of It is back on BBC 2, 10:10. Tonight it starts again, and there's extra coverage on the Red Button. Of course, the film recently, which was In the Loop, also did very well. I know critically it did fantastically well. I hope it did well at the box office as well here in the UK.
Yeah.
But if people haven't yet encountered you, the character, how would you briefly sum up the show and the person you play?
Well, I play a character called Malcolm Tucker, who is essentially the government's chief press officer. So he has to manage all of the embarrassments and scandals that might possibly engulf the government. And the main people who are responsible for the scandals and embarrassments are the MPs, who simply will not do what Malcolm tells them. Malcolm is a media manager. So he tells them what to say, how to dress, how to behave. And generally, if they don't do what he says, he swears at them and gets very, very angry at them. And most of them are located in a rather dull department called DOSAC, which is a bit like the Department of Fisheries or Agriculture. You know, it's not sexy.
Not glamorous.
It's like a sort of Piccadilly factory of the government, you know, where they're all beavering away and they're all very dull, kind of political plankton.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that how well observed it is in the the truth of what goes on. But you can't help but think this is probably how it is, because it does seem more and more like the government spends so much time and effort trying to manage the way they're seen and manage the way they're written about and manage the way their decisions are presented, that they perhaps don't focus so much on those decisions themselves. Yeah,
it's all about presentation, and what you see in the thick of it is the actual mechanics of the presentation, in which people often, MPs, I think, generally at the moment people think MPs are all absolutely evil. Well, I mean, that simply can't be true. There are people there who are also trying to do something good, but the whole system is against them. But the fact that there's that much more media scrutiny, I guess, these days doesn't help. Yeah, but you can see in the programme we have Rebecca Front, who's fantastic, comes and plays this new minister called Nicola Murray, and you can see how my character Malcolm manipulates her, asks her to do things which are totally outside of her comfort zone in order to make a better presentable image for the government. I can't wait to see the first episode. We're going to get the news. We'll be chatting with Peter Capaldi some more after this. This is BBC Radio 2 online on digital and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. Good morning, this is Andrew P.